This is the Crime Club. I'm the Librarian. A deed indeed. Yes, we have that story for you. Come right over. You're here. Good. Take the easy chair by the window. Comfortable? The manuscript is on this shelf. Here it is. A deed indeed. The very exciting story of a nightclub that was operated by death. Let's look at it under the reading lamp. The Mannings, that is, Mark and Julia Manning, were the kind of happy-go-lucky husband and wife who knew everyone and went everywhere. And, believe it or not, they were happy. It was early one evening, and they were in their apartment in Midtown, New York. But they were not together. Mark was in the bedroom, and Julia was in the living room, slowly but surely biting the polish off her lovely nails. Then...
Mark?
Yes, dear.
Are you going to finish dressing sometime tonight?
Right away, Julia.
Right away. It was right away 10 minutes ago.
How do I look?
Beautiful. Now, come on, let's hurry. I'd like to see what a theater looks like before the curtain goes up.
Right away.
Oh, for pity's sake. What's the matter now?
I forgot to take a handkerchief.
It's amazing that... Now, who can that be?
Open the door and find out. And if it's for me, just tear it up.
We heard you the first time.
Greetings and salutations.
We've got all we need, thank you.
Never close the door in the face of a benefactor.
Do I have to wrestle with you, too?
It could be fun, you know. Now,
What do you want?
I have something for Mr. Mark Manning. Is he at home?
He certainly is.
Splendid. And would you be Mrs. Manning?
I would.
Then let me ask you a question. Do you know how many shopping days there are to Christmas?
What? Now, look here, Mr. What's-Your-Name.
It isn't Mr. What's-Your-Name. It's Faraway.
It couldn't be.
Oh, then I've been deceived. Now, what was I saying? Oh, yes, something about Christmas. Well, it's here, dear lady.
Who is it, Julia?
It's for you, Mark, and I can't tear it up.
So I see.
His name's Faraway.
Faraway. Business counselors and managers deluxe. I'm the third Faraway from the left.
How does it feel?
Well, it's a little...
Mark, tell him we're in a hurry.
Yes, you see, Mr. Faraway, we're in a hurry. If you'd like to make an appointment, meet me, say, at 2 o'clock next winter, I'd be glad to.
Young man, I have a mission to accomplish tonight. Here's a paper for you.
A summons?
Take it and be surprised. It's a deed to the Locust Club. That magnificent bistro at the river's edge, where New York and Westchester meet.
The Locust Club?
That great harmonium of joy. It's all yours, my boy.
Mark, is he kidding, or is he just cashew?
Gesundheit, dear lady.
Thank you. What?
I don't get this, Julia. It's a deed made out to me by Lou Barton.
Who's he?
Your husband's angel, Mrs. Manning. The man who never forgets a service.
Mr. Faraway, there must be some mistake. I never heard of the guy.
Please, sir. Mr. Barton is my client.
Sorry. But what did I do for him?
Let your mind go back 6 years to a certain episode in Pittsburgh.
Oh, I wasn't in Pittsburgh 6 years ago.
Modesty, my boy, the purest of all virtues. And you have it abundantly. Well, I have fulfilled my mission of goodwill. And now, may I say au revoir?
You may.
Au revoir.
Of all the nutty things to happen. What do you make of it?
Gag, Julia. Somebody's having a lot of fun.
By handing out a deed?
Look, it's dated 3 months ago. Did you ever hear the Locust Club?
No.
Then it doesn't exist. And if it does, it's a hole in the wall that nobody goes to anyway.
Mark, what are you doing?
What? Well, I'll be cooked. I meant to tear up the deed, and I tore up the theater tickets instead.
Dearest, would you call that a mistake?
Well...
It's backfiring. I'm not going to the Locust Club.
Oh, now look, honey.
I'm not going, and don't try to persuade me.
All right, darling, I won't. Why should I be a sucker for a gag? We just stay home and look at the walls. Look at them, dear. Aren't they beautiful?
Clue.
hiya, Sally. What brings you here so early?
I'll give you one guess.
You fell out of bed.
I met Claude Faraway in New York. He told me one of Grimm's fairy tales.
Which one?
About you giving this club away to a guy named Mark Manning.
Oh. As a matter of fact, the deed was recorded 3 months ago.
What?
But Manning got it tonight. I figured it was tonight or never.
Why, Lou?
The weatherman predicted a heat wave.
Uh-oh. When did he start predicting?
3 months ago, Kitty said it was getting warm.
So you ditched the club. You couldn't wait.
I was taking no chances. You know how the weather is around here once it gets warm.
Why didn't you tell me?
I like your face, baby. Without wrinkles.
You should have told me, Lou. We've been together for a long time. We always shared alike.
The club was mine, Sally. I felt like giving it away.
I wasn't talking about that.
Oh, sure. You don't care about the material things.
Well, what happens now?
Break it down, Cookie.
Do we stick around or do we go to a better climate?
We stick around.
In the heat?
We got nothing to worry about. Mark Manning's the new boss. We're working for him.
Okay, but suppose he screams.
I expect him to.
Great. How will that register with the weatherman?
Sally, you disappoint me. You used to be able to figure the angles.
When I knew who to figure him against. But who's Mark Manning? What kind of a guy is
He
he?
breathes for a living.
Quit kidding, Lou.
What's the difference? I checked him and found out he's got a weakness for nightclubs.
That doesn't mean he's going to like what you're doing to him.
You're not figuring the angles, baby. I've got that guy covered from so many angles, he'll stab himself to death trying to get out.
Mark, this can't be the place. This can't be the Locust Club that Mr. Faraway was talking about.
You see another one around here, Julia?
Good heavens. Somebody must be out of his mind. This is luxurious.
No understatements, please.
Those people, hundreds of them, sitting at tables, eating and drinking.
Yes, that's so much nicer than writing on the tablecloths.
Mark, aren't you excited about this?
Excited here. My nerves are bouncing like handballs.
Well, you might show it.
And I will. First, I've got to stop wondering.
Oh.
That's right, darling. Why should I get a paying proposition like this for nothing?
Yes.
Come on, let's find out.
Welcome to the Locust Club, where the food is good and the prices are nice.
Hello.
You got a reservation?
No, but you see...
You're out of luck, mister. We're all filled up.
Let me explain. We didn't come...
Not a chance. Now, the next time you want to eat here, better phone in advance. Just ask for Joe. That's me.
Make a note of it, Mark.
All right, dear, I'll write it down.
Joe, is this place always as crowded as this?
Only at night, lady. It's closed all day.
Well, my husband and I are going to change that policy. We're going to serve lunches.
Honey, if you don't mind shifting to the guard position, I'd like to go through center.
Of course, dear.
Thanks. Now, Joe, where's the owner of this place?
The owner?
I said it first.
You mean the real owner?
Let's sit down, Joe. You must be pretty tired.
Won't do no good, mister. I'm even tired when I sit.
Let me try it, Mark. Joe, who signs the checks?
Oh, him.
Yes, him.
He ain't in.
Take a deep breath, Joe. Now, what time will he be in?
You got me there, mister. I never even seen the guy.
You mean you never had a glimpse of Lou Barton?
Him? Oh, sure, lots of times, but he don't own it no more. A fella called Mark Manning's the new boss, and we've been sort of waiting to get a look at him.
Well, look with all your might, Joe. I'm Mark Manning.
All right, I looked already. So... You?
Mark, you shouldn't do such things. You made him open his eyes.
Where's Lou Barton, Joe?
Sure. He's in that office right there. He said for me to send you in soon as you got it.
Mark, you sure you never heard of a Lou Barton?
Not by name, dear.
Think of it. I seem to remember somewhere, a long time ago.
You're thinking of Sidney Carton, the guy who lost his head in Tale of Two Cities.
Of course. Now, look here, Mark Manning.
The office. Who's there? Huh? I don't recognize the voice either. Let's go in, Julia. I said, who's there, buddy? Are you Lou Barton? Yeah, what do you want? I'm Mark Manning. Mark? Well, of course,
Oh, gee, I'm glad to see you, Mark. It's been such a long time.
Hey, well, wait a minute.
Oh, what's the matter, sweetheart? Don't even rate a kiss.
Go on, give her a kiss, pal, for old time's sake. Get away from me. Now, listen, Julia, you've got to believe me.
Do I?
It's a gag like the club. I never seen that gal before.
I'll bet.
Why, Mark, how can you say such a thing after all those wonderful times we had in Pittsburgh?
Shut up, you bat. This is my wife, Julia.
Hello.
Oh, she's not bad, pal. All right, you two. What's this all about? Well, we're just glad to see you, that's all. Why? Why? Sally, something's happened to our old pal. What is it, Mark? What's changed?
Cut it out, Barton.
Was it marriage? But she looks like a nice girl.
I said cut it out, Barton.
Okay. I've been double-crossed before. Get me a drink, Sally. This is hard to take.
Oh, I can't believe it, Lou. I just can't believe it.
Julia, darling, I don't know these people. I never met them before.
Of course, dear.
You've got to listen to me.
I'll do that later, when we get home. But right now, don't you think we ought to find out why they gave you this club?
I gave it to him, Julia. He saved my life.
Sure.
You don't remember, do you, Mark? Well, to you it was a little thing, but to me... I'll never forget it, that night in Pittsburgh 6 years ago.
What did I do?
What did he do? You hear that, Sally? How can you live in the same world with a guy like that?
That's life, sweetheart.
Yeah. Listen, Mark, at great risk to your own life, you pulled me out of a fire. I've been building myself up for 6 years to show my appreciation.
Then you can start building yourself down. I don't want your club. Here's your deed.
You can't do that, pal.
Take a look. I've done it.
Let's say you made a good try. There's a copy of that deed on file at the land office.
What?
It's been there for 3 months. And I've got proof. 2 signatures. That you accepted this club as consideration for an old debt. The whole transaction was notarized by a certain Mr. Faraway.
Yeah. Well, Julia, shall we go out front and take a look at my property?
I still don't understand.
Neither do I, darling. But why bother to figure things out now? We got our whole lives ahead of us. Or what's left of them.
Did you say something, Ma?
No, dear, but I'd like to. This place is beginning to get me.
Uh-huh.
Julia,
Yes.
did something happen to me 6 years ago? Something you never told me about?
Why don't you ask Sally?
Is it possible I had amnesia?
What?
Did I wander off to Pittsburgh and, without knowing what I was doing?
Take a look at this menu.
I don't feel like eating. Julia, you've got to tell me the truth.
It's printed on this menu. Take a look at it. Maybe you'll get amnesia now. Don't stare at me. Look at the menu. And then tell me how a nightclub could give a steak dinner for $1 and make money.
Is that what I'm doing?
You're also selling cocktails for $25 and lamb chops for 75 cents.
Wow.
You know what a steak and lamb chops cost these days when you have to buy them?
Yeah, but maybe we're giving them small portions, huh? Yeah, that must be it. Come on, let's take a look at the kitchen.
Greetings and salutations, people of good fortune.
Run for your life, Mark. Here comes that man again.
A tour of inspection, Tell me, Mr. Manning, has your fertile brain erupted some useful ideas?
I've been thinking, Faraway.
Naturally. This glittering bistro lends itself.
At what rate of interest, Mr. Faraway?
Yes. Your ideas, Mr. Manning.
How would you like to see Delmonico's come to life again?
What a thought. My boy, you've touched a tender spot. Long, slumbering memories.
You're going to see it here at popular prices.
Why improve, darling? These prices are popular enough.
First, I'll rip out all those light fixtures and put in soft, indirect lighting. Then I'll throw out all those tables and chairs.
Hey, where's the boss of this place?
What? Now, see here, my good man.
Never mind the compliments. All I want is the owner, Mark Manning. The guy in the office told me he was out here.
Hi, Mr. Manning.
Okay. You owe Green and Black $1,000 for light fixtures.
Do I? Who says so?
I do. Deputy Sheriff O'Malley. You owe White and Brown $700 for tables and chairs.
Now, wait a minute.
And there's an unpaid food bill for $800, a total of $2,500. Would you like to pay me now, Mr. Manning?
I certainly would not.
Okay, boys, stop ripping.
Bye-bye, Delmonico's darling. Shall we go home now?
Stop them, Sheriff. You can't do this without a court order.
Well, here it is, mister. You can read it if you want to. Hey, you reckless. Get into the kitchen and start packing up the food.
Now, listen, Sheriff.
And you over there, start working on the tables and chairs.
Oh, well, you got to stop them. What can I do about it?
Well, let me see. I'm a business consultant and manager.
Listen, don't sell yourself to me now.
I also have some knowledge of the law, young man. This paper is quite legal. My advice is to pay.
But Faraway.
If you don't, these men will ruin the place, and your creditors will have judgments against you anyway.
You mean I'm stuck?
I'm afraid so. Pay now, and we'll find ways and means of recovery later.
All right, Sheriff. I'll give you one check for the whole amount.
Suit yourself, mister.
How does that line go, Sheriff? All that glitters.
Don't ask me, lady. The mayor don't give us much time for reading.
How awful. Not even horror stories?
Hold everything, boys.
Here's your check, Sheriff. A year.
Okay, boys, grab it.
Literal creatures, aren't they?
I brought them up right. Okay, boys, we're through here. Let's go home.
Now, Faraway, what about those ways and means of recovery?
Not so fast, Mr. Manning. The law books are in my office.
Well, hurry up and get your nose into them. I want action.
I'll do that at once.
Come on, Julia. We're going to give Mr. Barton another interview.
Mark, you poor darling. 3 whole months to Thanksgiving, and you've already had your turkey.
You don't believe me, do you, Mark?
No, Lou, I don't.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe I shouldn't blame you. But I tell you, I didn't know a thing about those judgments.
You told the sheriff where to find me. You had me all set up for the rap.
Is that what you really think, pal?
What's the idea of unloading this lemon on me?
Oh, and while we're on the subject of fruit, Mr. Barton, where's Sally?
Oh, she went out for...
Julia.
Yes, Mark?
Shut up. Now, Lou, do I get an answer, or do I have to pull it out of the teeth?
You're all wrong, pal. But I'll make it right. How much did the sheriff take you for it?
$2,500.
All right. Here's my certified check for $10,000 made out to you.
Your what?
Certified, you know, okayed by the bank.
That, darling, is what I call a profit.
300%. Even these days, it ain't bad.
Yeah. And in order to get that check, what do I have to do?
Just deed the club back to me. And by an odd coincidence...
Oh, you've got one already made out.
Yeah, funny, isn't it?
You're too well prepared for emergencies, Mark.
That's because I'm farsighted. Here's the pen, and there's the dotted line.
Julia.
Don't ask me what to do, Mark. I've shut up.
Well, I'm sorry, Lou. I'll need time to think it over.
Why?
I'm curious. And when I'm curious, ask Julia the next time she feels like talking.
Better use that pen, Manny.
What?
It also writes under blood.
Ooh.
When this thing goes off, you can't send the bullet back.
So I've been told. All right. I'll take the pen. And as long as you've got me, I'll take the pen. Cut it out.
Look out, Mark! He's going to trip you.
No, Julia. Drop it, Barton. Make it fall down.
Mark! Mark, are you all right?
I think so. Or maybe I'm kidding myself.
Mark!
But... Julia. He fell down.
Mark, are you sure he's dead? You couldn't be wrong.
If he ever starts breathing again, you can ask him.
What do we do now?
Find out who killed him, Julia.
Didn't you? Didn't the gun go off while you were wrestling with it?
Yes, dear, but not the one Barton was holding.
What are you talking about?
Huh? See for yourself.
Why, it's fully loaded.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's got to be murder.
Yeah. But where did the shot come from?
The door.
No, dear, I was facing it.
The window?
Locked. Julia, come here.
What's the matter?
Darling, if you put a throw rug on the floor, would you leave it with a bump in the middle?
Mark, you know I'm very particular about... Well, why didn't you tell me there was a trap door under that rug?
I couldn't, dear, until I moved it.
A cellar.
Darling, sometimes you're so bright, I can't understand why you married an ordinary man like me.
Huh?
Let's go down and watch your step.
Do we have to do this, Mark?
No, but we've gone this far. Why not follow through?
Oh, so dark and damp down here.
Just think of it as atmosphere.
I'd rather not. Mark, look!
Oh, darling, don't jump at me like that when I'm hunting a killer.
Oh, never mind that. Look at all those cases marked liquor.
Julia, dear, upstairs is a nightclub where people drink that stuff.
But there must be hundreds of them.
There are millions all over the world.
Mark Manning, I'm talking about the cases in this cellar.
Oh.
Here's one that's open.
Just take one bottle, dear. We'll come back for the rest later.
Ma, this isn't liquor.
What?
It's the most wonderful thing that's happened to me. I'm afraid I'm going to cry.
Honey, get a grip on yourself. Talk to me.
In this bottle, and in all these cases marked liquor.
Is that what you call talking?
Viva more.
Moore.
Vivian who?
Viva Moore, that new French perfume. $100 an ounce.
We can't afford those luxuries yet, dear. What did you say?
It's all mine. I'm set for life. All my friends are set for life.
Julia, that's contraband.
No, it's Viva Moore. Here, smell it.
It's contraband, dear. Smuggled stuff.
Huh?
Lou Barton's racket. He unloaded this club on me.
You mean I can't use it?
Mm-hmm. Uncle Sam has a prior claim.
Oh, that man.
Take it easy. Let me explain something.
You never make me happy, Mark.
Lou Barton must have been bringing his stuff in without telling our uncle about it. Uncle got suspicious about 3 months ago, and Lou gave me a deed without telling me. He even filed it. That made me the owner, Julia, and the fall guy.
All this wonderful perfume. And they'll probably send it back to France.
You say don't send me to jail.
What?
You know that place with bars on it?
But why you?
Push a stick into me and call me Lollipop.
Oh. But why did Barton offer you $10,000 to get his club back?
To get his club back?
That's what I asked you.
That deed he wanted me to sign was going to be locked up until after Uncle Sam locked me up.
I get it. And after that, he was going to file it.
Yep. All right, now, let's go look for a murderer.
Down here?
At least how a murderer got out. There's a small light at the other end of the cellar. It might be an exit.
Wish it weren't so dark.
Well, just follow me. I'll run interference. Keep talking, Julia. Then I'll know you're with me.
Uh-huh.
We'll be out of here in a few minutes, and then we'll clear up this murder, and I'll be in the clear about the club and the smuggling racket. Darling, at a time like this, I hate to be petty, but what's happened to your vocabulary?
I just found it, Mark.
What? Solly. Where's Julia?
She's resting over there.
What have you done to her?
I smacked her and let her down very gently.
Oh, get out of my way. I've got to go
Mark, I didn't tell you what I smacked her with.
Oh, I don't care.
It's a great gadget. It shoots, too.
Look, Sally, she's never been hit on the head before. Just give me a chance to see how she is.
There's no time. Unless the two of you want to be buried in the same river.
Can't you be reasonable? You have to be hard-boiled.
Come on, Cookie. We're going to your apartment.
To my... Oh, no, not with Julia lying there.
Faithful to the end, huh? Well, turn around and walk toward that light, or this will be the end, sweetheart. And no encores.
Sally, I'm doing the best I can to stop pushing that gun into my back.
What do you want from me, Mark? The thing's impatient and wants to get inside.
I'll tell it to wait a minute. I'm nervous. My hands are trembling.
You ought to see a doctor. Maybe you won't have to. I know a swell undertaker. Get in.
All right. But you should have let me take Julia out of that cellar. It's damp in there.
Hey, Joe.
Is he here, too?
Nah, I just took a deep breath.
Is that you, Sally? Oh, so you got him.
What were you doing in that bedroom?
I was laying down. I got tired waiting for you.
That's a comfortable bed, isn't it?
The bed? Say, what kind of a mattress you got on it?
First, you tell me how you got in here.
Oh, I got keys that fit every door. Now, anytime you want me to do it...
Shut up, Joe.
Okay, I don't care.
Welcome to the Locust Club, where the food is good and the prices are nicest.
Hey, he remembers my spear.
Yeah. Sit down, Mark. We're going to make the extraction as painless as possible.
What? What extraction?
Show it to him, Joe.
I'll be glad to. Here, Mr. Manning.
By these present do we herewith... Say, this is a deed of the Locust Club.
From you to me. Sign it.
But...
Sign it.
Well, what's Joe here for? Protection?
He makes a cross like a witness.
Oh, that ain't fair, Sally. You know I can write.
Yeah.
And you promised me a silent partnership in the whole business. You said that...
Joe, do you have to talk so much?
No, I don't have to talk at all.
Stay that way.
Okay.
Well, Manning, do you write your name on that deed, or do I write you off as a bad risk?
All right. I always had respect for a gun. Is this where I sign?
Where it says cellar.
That's where we left Julia.
Just sign it. We'll laugh later.
Wouldn't you know this would happen at a critical point in my life?
What's the matter?
My pen is dry. Well, I'll fill it.
You don't have to. Give him your pen, Joe.
Okay, but I don't like too many people using it. The point gets twisted up.
Joe!
I had it right here in my coat pocket. Honest, Sally.
Dig down into the pocket.
Look, I'm doing it. Oh, I know. It must have dropped out while I was laying down. I'll go look in the bedroom.
What was that, Mark? Your last laugh?
I was thinking of what Joe said before.
Yeah?
He said, honest, Sally. And that just ain't true.
Small talk. And at your age, shame on you.
You shouldn't have looked around, Sally.
Let me go.
Let the gun go first.
Stop, you're hurting my...
That's all, Sally. Now, we'll just let Julie in. Then we can have a party. Darling.
Mr. Manning.
Oh. Come in, Faraway. I can't begin to tell you what a disappointment you are.
I'm sorry.
You know Sally?
Yes. Mr. Barton's aide-de-camp. Good evening.
So what?
I won't be but a minute. Mr. Manning, I have bad news for you.
Who hasn't?
I looked up the law on that matter. I'm afraid your $2,500 is lost.
Nice of you to come here to tell me.
You gave me a merry chase, sir. I went to the Locust Club, but the place was deserted. Fortunately, I remembered your address, so...
how much do I owe you?
Please, Mr. Manning, don't defile me with offers of money. But there is another matter.
Sure.
The matter of Mr. Barton and the Locust Club.
Huh?
Well, my boy, it seems that you are not the man who saved his life in Pittsburgh 6 years ago.
Uh-huh.
He regrets the error deeply, and he's most anxious to compensate you. Therefore, he has asked me to buy the club back from you. You will give me a deed, and I will give you this.
A check for $10,000.
Certified. A magnificent sum. I believe you'll find it satisfactory.
Yeah. But Faraway, don't you know that death cancels a deal?
Death? Whose death are you talking about?
Lou Barton. He was murdered.
Oh, no. When? Oh, why didn't someone tell me?
I found a pen, Sally. It was under... Hey, what's that guy doing here?
Waiting for the pen, Joe.
Huh?
Give it to him. Mr. Faraway is most anxious to write a get-me letter to the police.
Mr. Manning, did I hear you say police?
Yes. And if you listen carefully, I'll tell you why.
Oh, my head.
Now, sit still, darling. Keep that ice pack on.
But it's messing up my hair.
It'll get your brains back in shape. You want me to tell you how I nabbed Faraway, the third from the left?
I don't want you to tell me anything. Leaving me in that dusty old cellar. Just because that woman had a gun.
Don't you think that was a good reason, Angel?
What about Faraway? The third from the left.
He wanted to get his hands on the Locust Club and the perfume racket that went with it.
And Barton gave him the opportunity when he deeded the club to you and then tried to get it back.
Huh? Are you sure you've got a headache, Julia?
How did you know that Faraway was the murderer?
He was surprised that Barton was dead.
Not enough, darling.
He tried to buy the club back from me.
Still not enough.
He gave me that certified check we left in Barton's office after he was killed.
That does it. Help me up, dear. I think I ought to walk around for a while.
Well, wouldn't you rather go to bed?
I'll feel much better if I just...
What was that?
Oh, my Viva Amor.
You brought that bottle home?
I had it wrapped up in my hat, and my hat was on my lap. $100 an ounce. Oh, my head.
And so closes tonight's story, A Deed Indeed. Stedman Coles wrote the radio script. Roger Bauer produced and directed. Sidney Smith played the part of Mark Manning. Helen Shields was Julia Manning. Larry Haynes was heard as Lou Barton. Julie Stevens was Sally. Murray Forbes played Faraway. Phil Bauer was Joel. And Barry Thompson was Sheriff O'Malley. Oh, I beg your pardon. Hello. I hope I haven't kept you waiting. Yes, this is the Crime Club. I'm the Librarian. Yes, come over a week from tonight. Good. We have the very intriguing story of laughing waves on the blue ocean, twinkling stars in night skies, and dank death in the sand dunes. It's called Death Swims at Midnight. In the meantime, there is a new Crime Club book available this week and every week at bookstores everywhere. Yes, it's available now. Fine. And we look for you next week.
This is the world's largest network serving more than 400 radio stations. The Mutual Broadcasting System.
Hello, I hope I haven't kept you waiting. Yes, this is the Crime Club. I'm the Librarian. Death swims at midnight. Yes, we have that story for you. Come right over. Ah, you're here. Good. Take the easy chair by the window. Comfortable? The manuscript is on this shelf. Here it is. Death Swims at Midnight. The very exciting story of a singular beach where the tide goes out and murder comes in. Let's look at it under the reading lamp. Bill Desmond, the famous private detective, and his pint-sized assistant, Maxie Davis, have gone to the resort town of Marbella for a rest. To Maxie's disgust, Bill has dragged him out of bed at 7 a.m. to go for a swim. As they stand at the edge of the boardwalk, looking out over the ocean, Maxie blinks his sleepy eyes and then turns to glare at his boss.
You mean you expect me to go in there?
Why, sure, Maxie. A swim before breakfast is good for the health.
For a fish, yeah. Me, I should have stood in bed.
Oh, you'll change your mind when you hit that water. Aye, look at how blue it is. How calm.
Mm-hmm. And who knows how cold.
I do, gentlemen.
What? Huh?
I do. Yep, the water's cold. Cold as death.
Excuse me, but...
Kind of scared you, eh? Well, didn't mean to. Name's Atkins. Fuzzy Atkins, they call me. I live in that shack on the old fishing pier.
I see.
Weren't thinking of doing some fishing, were you?
I know. Not this morning.
Too bad. Ain't many goes fishing these days. Nope. They got other things to do.
Well, yes. Excuse us, Fuzzy. We are going for a swim.
Go right ahead. But don't forget, the water's cold these days. Very cold.
Encouraging little fellow, isn't he, Maxie?
Yeah, look, Bill, maybe he's right. The water does look kind of chilly. Let's go back to our hotel.
Oh, nonsense. We're going for a swim. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get down these stairs to the beach.
Uh-huh. I still don't see why we couldn't have come down here later. At least we would have had company.
We have company, Maxie.
Where?
Over there. That girl.
Oh.
Ah. She looks rather interesting, doesn't she?
She looks like a dame.
There are dames, Maxie, and dames.
Yeah, and there's trouble and more trouble. Come on, Bill, let's head for the other end of the beach.
And pass that up? Not me. Come on, let's visit.
But, Bill, Oh, okay. Say, what's she doing? Digging in the sand?
I don't know. She looks rather old to be making mud pies. Hello.
Oh,
I'm sorry if I startled you. Well, how's the water this morning?
it's okay, I guess.
Nice beach you have here.
Getting kind of crowded.
Is it? I didn't notice.
That's funny. Those eyes of yours have been noticing everything else.
Well, there's nothing like exercise for the eyes, I always say.
Just be careful they don't get too much. I hear that makes them turn black.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. Just to give them a rest, I'm going to get out of here. So long.
That's the neatest brush off you ever got.
Too bad, too. I've always wanted to teach a girl like that how to swim.
Something tells me she don't need no lessons.
Maybe not. Well, let's get into the water, eh?
It's kind of nice here on the sand, Bill. What do you say we squat here for a while?
Yeah, all right. Watch where you sit down, Maxie.
Huh?
There's quite a bit of tar on the beach.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's a nice spot. Guess I'll just... Hey!
What's the matter, Maxie?
What's the matter? What's the idea of putting your foot under me?
Put my foot under you?
Not me.
Oh, cut it out, will you, Bill? Who do you think you're kidding?
But on the level, I swear I didn't.
Well, that's funny. Wait a minute. Maybe there's something... Hey! It wasn't your foot. It's someone else's.
What? Yeah, let me see. Maxie, there's someone under the sand. Quick, help me shovel it to one side.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know just where, but if the feet are down here, I think... Here we are.
Holy smoke! It's a dame. Is she sleeping?
Yes. The long, long sleep of death. Did you phone the coroner, Maxie?
Yeah, Bill, he'll be right down.
Good.
Say, Bill, have you figured out what caused the death?
Well, there's a nasty bruise on her head, but I'd say she drowned.
Drowned? But how did she get under the sand?
The how, Maxie, is not so important as the why.
Howdy. Howdy, gentlemen. Noticed you digging from up on the pier. Ain't after clams, are you?
Not exactly, Fuzzy. Here, take a look at what we dug up.
Oh. You know, I ain't seen a clam like that for a long time. No, sirree. Not like that.
Here, come on, let's stop that.
Huh?
Who is this girl?
Appears to me like Mrs. Dale, Joan Dale. Yep, that's who it is. She's got the big bungalow right opposite my shack on the pier.
I see. Fuzzy, did you see that girl who was on the beach when we got here?
Yep, sure did. That was Carol Carson. Got the bungalow on t'other side of Mrs. Dale. She left you in a hurry, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Hey, you don't think that Carson
I don't think anything yet, Maxie. Fuzzy, we expect the coroner here any minute. Will you watch the body until he arrives?
Yep, sure will.
Good. Come on, Maxie. I want to have a look at Mrs. Dale's bungalow.
Hey, this is quite a layout, huh, Bill?
Yes, Maxie, it's quite cozy.
Cozy is right. With a joint like this, even I could learn how to like the beach. What are you looking for?
I don't know. We'll just poke around, see what we can.
What is it?
This desk, Maxie.
Well, what about it? I don't see a thing.
Take a look at the blotter.
So I'm looking. All I see is a lot of numbers.
Exactly. It's almost as though someone has been practicing arithmetic.
Mm-hmm.
And yet there are no papers on the desk. None in the drawers, and let me see. No. Nothing in the waste paper basket either. Maybe...
Where are you going?
Over the fireplace. Uh-huh.
You find anything, Bill?
Yes. Ashes, Maxie. Ashes. But not only of paper, of cloth, too.
Cloth?
Uh-huh. And to judge by some of the burnt threads, a coarse cloth.
Hello? That you, Martin? I want to talk to you about... Well, who are you?
My name is Desmond, Bill Desmond. This is my assistant, Maxie Davis.
Oh, you're the ones who discovered the body, aren't you?
Yes. How'd you know?
I've just left the coroner.
Oh, I see.
I beg your pardon, but the name Desmond is rather familiar.
Familiar, he says. Brother, you're looking at the best private op in the business.
Oh, of course. Permit me to introduce myself. I'm Fulton Stokes, Mrs. Dale's attorney.
Oh, yes. How do you do?
Right.
Mr. Stokes, when you left the coroner, had he completed his examination of the body?
Yes. He's of the opinion that Mrs. Dale drowned at some time around midnight last night. He thinks it was an accident.
Oh?
You disagree?
Well, I don't know yet. Tell me, who is this Martin you called to when you first came in?
Martin Dale, Joan's husband.
Do you know where he is?
Probably on his cruiser, which is anchored just offshore.
Didn't he live here with his wife?
Well, no. You see, they'd had a bad quarrel. Joan had the idea that Martin married her for her money.
I see. Do you know when they last saw each other?
Not exactly, but she did have an appointment to see him on board his cruiser late last night.
Late last night, eh? Maxie.
Yeah?
I think we'll take a little boat ride. All right, Maxie. Here's Dale's cruiser.
Get on board and I'll follow.
Okay.
Up you go.
Okay, I'm on.
Now, give me a hand. That's it. Thanks.
Hey, what do you two think you're doing? Get off or I'll throw you out.
Sure. Come on, Bill.
No, Max, you don't mind Mr. Dale. He's just kidding.
Kidding, huh? Okay, wise guy. You asked for it. I'll just...
Gee, he didn't last long, did he?
No, Maxie. The trouble with him is he's big, but he's soft. Aren't you, Dale? Come on, up on your feet.
Well, what do you want?
I've got some bad news, Dale. Your wife is dead.
Dead?
Yes. She was drowned late last night. Tell me, when did you see her last?
A couple of days ago.
You're lying, Dale.
Lying? Why, I ought to...
What?
Nothing.
That's better. Your wife was aboard this boat late last night, wasn't she?
Yes, I talked to her about a reconciliation.
Mm-hmm.
But she wasn't in the mood. She'd lost a lot of money gambling with Nick Vero.
Nick Vero? Who's he?
He runs the Pelican Club at the end of the boardwalk.
Oh. Well, go on.
I tried to convince my wife to let me come back. She wouldn't listen.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to kiss her, and she struggled, then jumped off the boat and swam for shore. That's all I know.
That's all, eh? She had an ugly bruise on her head, Dale.
I don't know anything about it.
Maybe not. By the way, where can I get in touch with Nick Vero?
Well, from 8 p.m. on, you can find him at his club. Before that, he's usually with his girlfriend, Carol Carson.
Carol Carson?
Carson?
Why, yes. Do you know her?
Yeah, you might say she was a passing acquaintance, huh, Bill?
Uh-huh. Maxie, I think I'll pay her a visit this evening. Maybe we can get to be warm friends.
Nice view from the boardwalk, huh, Stokes?
Oh, Martin. What's wrong with your jaw?
I had a visitor on my boat. A man by the name of Desmond. Kind of funny his knowing that Joan had an appointment with me last night.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Martin. Joan's death occurred under peculiar circumstances. Desmond asked me some questions, and I answered them.
Uh-huh. I got a couple of questions, too.
Yes?
As far as I know, the will Joan made after our marriage has never been changed. Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Now, according to the terms of that will, I inherit her estate.
Go on.
I'm a little short right now. I've been running into some bad luck at Nick Vero's. How about an advance? Well?
How much do you need?
$5,000.
Well, I guess I can let you have it.
Good.
Just one thing, Martin.
Yeah?
If Joan was murdered, you'd be the leading suspect.
So?
Now, I'm not saying that you're guilty. But if you were tried and convicted, you wouldn't inherit a penny. I'd be out $5,000.
Why, I'm surprised at you for bringing that up. After all, you'd only be out $5,000. As for me, I'd be out.
Hello?
Hello, Nick?
Yeah?
This is Martin Dale.
Oh, been waiting for you to get in touch. Got that dough you owe me?
Well, I've got $5,000, Nick.
$5,000? Told me you'd have it all by tonight.
I know, but now that Joan's dead, I'll need a little more time.
Sorry, Dale, your time's up tonight. Either you pay off or else they'll shovel you in with your wife.
But if you'll only wait, I'll...
I've waited long enough.
Now, look, Nick, give me a break, and I'll tell you something you should know. Okay?
I'm not making any promises, Dale, but spell it.
Well, there's a private detective from New York, a fellow by the name of Bill Desmond.
That's not news.
I know, but he was out on my boat this morning, and from what he said, I think he's got something on Carol.
Huh?
He said that he was going to see her this evening.
Oh.
Well, Nick, do I get more time?
Okay, Dale. If this tip turns out to be on the level, you can forget about tonight's deadline.
Getting kind of late, Nick. Aren't you going up the club?
What's the matter, Carol? You anxious to get rid of me?
Of course not. Hey, what's wrong with you tonight?
Nothing. Why?
Well, you've been thoughtful all evening.
So I've been thoughtful.
You're not usually when you're with me.
So?
I was just wondering if you were thinking of Joan Dale.
Why should I be thinking of her?
Oh, come on, Nick. You don't have to be cagey with me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I saw you go into her bungalow last night.
You know, you're way off base, baby.
Now, look, Nick, I'm sort of mixed up in this thing, too, and I figured that...
You expecting anyone, Carol?
No.
Okay, give me a minute to duck into the bedroom, then go see who it is.
Right. Just a minute.
Good evening.
Oh, the boy with the athletic eyes.
Yes, Desmond's the name. Bill to you.
Well, good night, Bill.
Just a moment, Carol. Don't close the door till I'm inside. There we are.
You get out of here.
Oh, not yet, darling. Nice place you've got here. You know, I'm beginning to think that your friend Nick Vera's a fool.
What do you mean?
Well, a setup like this, a girl like you, I'd be hanged if I desert you every night just for business.
If you don't mind, let's leave Nick out of this.
Suits me. As a matter of fact, I picked my time in coming to visit you to be sure I'd avoid running into him.
I see.
I figured we'd be more comfortable alone.
What do you want? Don't.
I didn't do anything.
I know, but I didn't like the way your hands were twitching.
Oh, that. That's nothing. I guess I smoke too much.
Yes, I guess you do. Suppose you cool off and tell me why you came here.
Okay. Tell me, why did you bury Joan Dale's body in the sand?
I didn't.
Did it have anything to do with Nick Vero? Well, don't stare like that. Talk. I said...
You shouldn't have hit him so hard, Nick.
Shut up.
But you shouldn't have hit him that way.
I said shut up.
That's the first time you ever hit me.
Yeah. It won't be the last time if you don't shut your trap. Help me tie this lug up. I'm going to feed him to the fishes.
Oh, Fuzzy! Fuzzy!
Yep, what is it?
I've been looking high and low for my boss, Bill Desmond. Have you seen him?
Nope, ain't seen hide nor hair of him. Maybe he's gallivanting.
Wait a minute, Fuzzy. I thought I heard something.
Huh? I didn't hear nothing.
There it is again.
Hey, you're right. Someone's crying for help. Sounds like it comes from under my pier. Come on.
Okay.
This way, under the boardwalk.
Help!
Sounds like it comes from right over there. Wait, I'll put on my flashlight. There we are.
Holy Hannah. It's Bill.
Yep, so it is. Trussed up like a bundle of wash. And the tide coming in, too.
Help.
It's okay now, Bill.
Maxie?
Yeah, and Fuzzy Atkins.
I'll have you loosened. Just a second, Mr. Desmond. Just have to cut one more cord. There we are.
Can you get up, Bill?
Yes, I think so. Just give me your hand for a moment. Thanks.
Gee, I'm sure glad you're okay, Bill. Lucky Fuzzy and me heard you. Otherwise, you'd have been a goner.
Yep. The old devil in the sea might have gotten another one.
The old devil, Fuzzy?
Yes, sure-ee. Didn't believe in him much till I saw him get Mrs. Dale.
You saw a devil get Mrs. Dale?
Yep, sure did. I was up in my shack and I saw... Oh!
Bill, you okay?
Yes, Maxie. But Fuzzy's been hit.
Is he hurt bad?
He's dead, Maxie.
Dead? Who do you think killed him?
A devil, Maxie. A devil.
Boy, what a layout this Pelican Club has. Look at all the suckers just begging to be taken to the cleaners.
Yeah.
Did you see Nick, Bill?
No, Maxie. Let's try his private office.
Right. There it is. Mm-hmm.
Better stand guard outside the door, Maxie. I don't want to be disturbed.
Okay.
Say, who do you think... Bill Desmond.
Yes, Carol, what's the matter? You act as though you're looking at a ghost. Keep both hands on top of the table, darling.
Well, you got me wrong, Bill. I wasn't going to pull a gun.
Maybe not. But suppose you come around here, away from the desk.
Okay.
That's better. I suppose it must have handed you quite a laugh when Nick crept up behind me and let me have it.
I didn't laugh, Bill.
No? After he threw me under the pier, you might at least have gotten in touch with Maxie.
No, I couldn't. Nick made me stick close to him till just a little while ago. As soon as he left, I called your hotel, but Maxie was out.
Mm-hmm. You're fast on your feet, aren't you?
You don't believe me?
What do I look like, little boy blue?
It's the truth, Bill, honest.
Mm-hmm. Well, never mind that now. Where'd Nick go?
I don't know.
Now, look, Carol. I've got a bump on my head the size of an egg. My wrists and ankles are raw from the ropes cutting into them. I'm in no mood for stalling around.
I'm afraid Nick will kill me.
Well, now, don't worry. I won't tell him how I found out. Well?
He went to see Stokes at his hotel, the Shore Plaza.
Honest?
Yes.
Okay, sweetheart, I'll buy it. For your sake, I hope this isn't another sellout.
You really expect to find Nick here, Bill?
I don't know, Maxie.
You don't know? Well, I do. I'll bet you that...
Yes? Oh, it's you, Desmond, and Mr. Davis.
Oh, yes, Stokes. Tell me, is Nick Vero with you?
Nick? Why, no.
I told you, Bill. I knew she was lying.
Quiet, Maxie.
Okay.
Do you mind if we come in for a few minutes, Stokes?
Well, I'm sorry, Desmond, but I'm rather busy.
Sorry, too. I want in.
Now that you're in, what do you want?
Well, Nick Vero. Shame on you. A big boy like you hiding behind the door. No wonder Stokes was so nervous. That gun of yours is almost as ugly looking as you.
Close your big yap, Desmond, or I'll fill your teeth with lead. And tell this half-pint sidekick of yours to close that door.
Do as he says, Maxie.
Sure.
That's better. Now, what did you want, Desmond?
Oh, I want to talk to you about a number of things. For instance, why you cocked me earlier this evening and left me under the pier for fish bait.
Me? You're nuts.
Oh, I don't think so, Nick. Tell me, did you really want me to end up like Mrs. Dale?
Look, Desmond, if you think I killed Mrs. Dale, you're off your trolley.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Carol Carson thought you might have had something to do with it. That's why she buried the body in the sand.
Carol acts like a dumb little twist sometimes. For instance, she shouldn't have told you I was here.
She didn't.
Maybe not. Well, Desmond, anything else you'd like to ask me before I go?
No, Nick. But if I think of something, I'll call on you.
Yeah, do that. I'll give you a warm reception. Okay, you guys, just stay where you are. I'm leaving.
Shouldn't we follow him, Bill?
No, Maxie. That would play right into his hands. Stokes.
Yes, Desmond?
What did Nick want with you?
Well, he came to see me about Mrs. Dale's gambling debt. It seems that she owed him about $50,000.
As much as that, eh?
That's what he says. Now that she's dead and he can't collect it legally, he wanted me to pay it out of her estate.
What did you tell him?
Well, naturally, I told him that was impossible. He didn't like that.
I guess not.
He told me I'd have to pay up or else he'd kill me.
What's the matter with you, Bill? Ever since we returned to our rooms, you've been pacing up and down like a stud bug. I thought you said you were going to undress and hit the hay.
Yes, I know, Maxie, but I can't get this case out of my mind. The solution keeps eluding me.
It does? Well, I think it's a cinch.
Oh, you do, eh?
Sure, look. Mrs. Dale probably drowned swimming in from her husband's boat.
How about Fuzzy Atkins?
Well, Nick was sore because Fuzzy helped pull you out of the water.
Ah, no, Maxie, that won't wash.
But who else could have killed him? That old devil in the sea he was babbling about?
That old devil in the sea. Wait. Maybe Fuzzy wasn't babbling.
Huh?
Yes. It could tie in with those ashes we found in Mrs. Dale's fireplace. Why, of course.
Of course what?
Maybe. Oh, see who it is, Maxie.
Okay.
Bill in, Maxie.
Oh, Miss Carson.
Who's that? Carol?
Yes, Bill. I've got to talk to you.
Good Lord, what's happened? You look as though you've been through a meat grinder.
Nick gave me a beating.
Why, the dirty...
He was sore because I told you he'd gone to Stokes. Well, I'm going to give him lots more to be sore about.
Yes?
Nick was in Joan Dale's bungalow last night. I don't know if he saw her, but he took some of her papers.
How do you know?
I saw her name on the envelope just before he put them in his desk.
I see. Come on, Maxie. I want to take a peek into that desk.
How you making out, Bill?
I think we'll be in Nick's office presently, Maxie, unless I've lost all my skill with a skeleton key. There, that does it. Now, careful, Maxie, when you close the door.
Okay.
Now the flashlight. That's it. Uh-huh. There's the desk. Hold the light on the top center drawer.
Right.
That's it. This should be easy to force in the door. I'll just insert this near the lock and press down. Ah, that did it. Now, to see what...
Hey, someone put the lights on.
Yeah, I did. Oh, you looking for something, Desmond?
Well, if it isn't our gentle friend Nick and his friend, the automatic.
Yeah. This gun and me are good pals. It always does what I want. Desmond, I told you I'd give you a warm reception. Well, here it is.
That, Mr. Stokes, is what I call an entrance. Thanks.
Not at all, Desmond. Glad to be of service.
How is Nick, Maxie?
I think he's going to make some undertaker very happy.
Well, I don't think anyone will miss him. Now, let's see what's in that desk drawer. Ah, yes. There's Mrs. Dale's papers, all right.
May I have them, Desmond? As her executive, I'll need them to wind up her estate.
Certainly. Oh, by the way, may I have that gun? I'll turn it into the coroner, explain what happened.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Thanks. Now, would you mind taking off your shoes and socks?
What?
What's the matter with you, Bill? You nuts?
No, Maxie. I just want to prove that Mr. Stokes is guilty of murder. Hey, what time is it, Maxie?
7 a.m. Hey, what's the idea of setting the alarm clock?
I've got a date at the beach with Carol Carson. Where the devil are my swim trunks?
Wait a minute. I didn't get a chance to talk to you last night. Why did Stokes commit those murders?
Well, he'd embezzled a good deal of Mrs. Dale's money. She'd been checking her accounts and discovered the discrepancies. That's why her desk blotter was full of figures.
Oh, but how did he drown her in the ocean?
He didn't. That is, in the ocean. He drowned her in her bathtub after first knocking her unconscious.
Uh-huh.
Then he carried her under the boardwalk and the old fishing pier.
I see. So Stokes was really the old devil of the sea that Fuzzy saw.
Exactly. Now, where in blazes are those swim trunks?
But how about Nick?
Oh, Nick. Well, when he was in Mrs. Dale's bungalow, he came across her papers with notations on Stokes' embezzlement. Then he went after Stokes, not for Mrs. Dale's gambling debt, but for blackmail.
Oh, I get it. Now, one thing more, Bill. Why did you want Stokes to take off his shoes and socks?
Well, if you remember, the beach was covered with spots of tar.
Uh-huh.
When Stokes carried Mrs. Dale into the pier in the dark, he got tar all over his feet and legs. And that stuff is almost impossible to get off.
Oh.
When he got back to her bungalow, he tried cleaning it off with a towel. Then he burned the towel in the fireplace.
I see.
Now, if you'll excuse me, Maxie, I'll be off to meet Carol.
Bill.
Now what?
Before you go, don't you think you ought to put on your swim trunks?
Oh.
And so closes tonight's story, Death Swims at Midnight. James Erthine wrote the radio script. Roger Bauer produced and directed. Arthur Vinton played the part of Bill Desmond. Murray Forbes was Maxie Davis. Elspeth Eric was Carol Carson.
Ralph Camargo with